All right, this is the second part for section 8.1 and 8.2, the transformations part of it. Now, this second part consists of doing some other types of transformations. In our first video, we did dilations. Now, in this second part, we are going to do a translation, then reflection, and then a rotation. So I'm going to teach you how to do those here in GeoGebra, and that will help you solve the rest of the activity that you have for the day. Okay, so that part B starts by again having you draw a triangle. Probably you will need to use a different triangle than the one that you were using for dilations. So I'm going to start with that. I'm going to draw the triangle with some easily identifiable coordinates using integers, and here's my triangle. So the first thing I'm going to do is to translate that triangle. Translation is just moving from moving like right or left and up or down. So in that case, I'm going to drop down the menu of the transformations, and here you have something we call the translate by the vector. And after you use this instruction, you are going to select or click on any of the vertices of the triangle to perform that translation. So what I intend to do in this case is to move the triangle. Let's see, probably we're going to move it some 8 units to the left, 8 units to the left and 2 units up. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to choose translate by a vector. So we're going to choose the object to translate. So now after you choose it, which is going to be the triangle, we're going to choose the vertex B. As you translate vertex B, it's going to bring with it the whole triangle. So look at this. I'm going to click on vertex B, and as I told you, I'm going to translate the whole triangle 80 units to the left and 2 units up. So click on this, and now as you can see, this vector, it's an arrow. As you can see, I am now saying 80 units to the left, but at the same time I can do the 2 units up, which means that it's going to now be here. So it's going to be translated here. So after I properly locate it, I click on it, and as you can see, now this is your image. This new triangle A prime, B prime, C prime is the image of the pre-image or original triangle ABC with easily identifiable coordinate pairs, as you might notice. This is the first part. I just did a translation. So easy. Now what we're going to do is our reflection. We're going to perform reflections about the y-axis or the x-axis and see what happens afterwards, right? So again, I'm going to drop down the transformations menu, and I'm going to look at these options of reflection. We're going to reflect about a line. In this case, the line of reflection is the x-axis. So first I'm going to click, let's reflect this image. So take a look. I click on the object to reflect. Now I click on the line to be reflected about, and immediately you can see the image, which is a reflection of this triangle. I want you to notice something. Take a look at the coordinates of each of these triangles. Look at this. In this case, B prime was initially -2 and 3. I rotated about the x-axis, so the x value remained the same, and the y value just was kind of the opposite, right? So if it is 3, it's -3, and the same thing happens with the other two. And that's it. That's a reflection. Finally, and this is what I'm going to do with this last option, and I'm going to perform the rotation now of this image, this triangle, this last triangle. So I'm going to rotate this triangle, and you know what? Probably I'm going to do it with this original one. I'm going to rotate triangle A, B, and C, and I will do it using this, rotate around the point. So since we're doing our rotations around the origin, I first need to indicate that point right here. So this point E is our origin, and then we do rotate around the point. So I'm going to click on the triangle, and when I click on the origin or point E, you will see this option. You either want to do it counterclockwise or clockwise, and you give the angle you want to rotate about. I'm going to use, in my case, the clockwise option, and I'm going to do it 90 degrees. And as I click on OK, you will notice something. Take a look at this. One thing I want you to look is what happens with the coordinates as you do that. So let's do this. Let's analyze it. You see, point A is located at 1, 3, but when I rotate it clockwise, it's now at -1. Sorry, at 3, -1. So something happens with the coordinates, and I'm going to make sure I write it here. So look, the original or the pre-image, I'm sorry for this noise, it was a book dropped to the floor. So pre-image, in this case A, has the following coordinates. It's located at 1, 3, correct? But now image, after it was rotated 90 degrees about, oh well, I'm sorry, it's important, 90 degrees clockwise about the origin. So those are, well, look at this, you can see that it's the A prime 1 according to the GeoGebra. The new coordinates are 3, -1. And this is something, as you do, I mean, I can conclude that our rotation of 90 degrees clockwise, and I insist because it might be different if you do it counterclockwise. 90 degrees clockwise does the following. The original is XY, but the image, and I want to specify this, the image, in this case A prime, well, it was A prime 1, you swapped Y values, but the Y value originally was 1, remember? I'm sorry, the Y value was originally 3, and then it switched the point, so I can say that it's Y. But what happened with the X value? And you see the X value turn, and now it happens to be the Y value, but it's the opposite, so it's something like this. This is some kind of formula that we can now discover as we do it in a clockwise form. You will have to discover the option when it is counterclockwise, and then it will give you some guidance of what happens when you do this kind of rotations on a 90-degree wise. And that's it. This is the last part of part B. So good luck on the activity. All right, that's all I can say for now. So okay, goodbye.